At the start of being manipulated, you didn't ignore the warning signs, you adapted to them. And that's what makes this difficult to explain, but stick around for the whole video and we can explain it. Because nothing felt obviously wrong at the start, and there was no single moment where you could pinpoint it. Let's start with how the so-called normal is created. Normal isn't a moral standard, it's not even a healthy one. Normal is just what your nervous system gets used to. If someone raises their voice once, you notice it. If it keeps happening, you explain it. And then if it keeps happening, your brain stops flagging it that it's important, not because it's acceptable, but because constant alertness is exhausting. Your mind's job isn't to protect truth, it's to preserve stability. So it updates the rules. What once triggered discomfort becomes something you brace for instead. And bracing feels like strength, even though it's actually adaptation. Or maybe it all started with the first boundary you lose. The first boundary people lose isn't physical, it's internal. It's the moment you stop trusting your initial reaction. You feel uncomfortable, but instead of listening to it, you interrogate it. You ask, am I being unfair? Am I overreacting? Would someone else be fine with this? And that moment matters, because every time you override your own signal, you teach yourself that your instincts are unreliable. From there, boundaries don't need to be crossed, they just need to be questioned. But ask yourself, why does familiarity feel safer than change? That's because the brain is wired to prefer predictability over improvement. That's why people stay in jobs they hate, why they replay the same arguments, why they tolerate dynamics they openly criticise in others. Uncertainty activates fear, familiarity that doesn't. So when a situation becomes predictable, even if it's painful, your nervous system labels it as manageable, and that's the trap. Because once something is predictable, leaving it feels more dangerous than staying. And this is how people confuse intensity with connection and chaos with depth. Eventually, questioning them feels like betrayal. At a certain point, questioning the situation doesn't feel logical anymore. It actually feels disloyal. You start protecting it, sometimes even defending it. Not because it's good, but because acknowledging the truth would mean admitting to yourself how much you've already adjusted. So you minimise, you rationalise, you contextualise, and slowly the standard you once had is replaced with survival logic. That's when normal stops being neutral and starts becoming dangerous. And finally, the moment clarity returns. Clarity doesn't usually arrive with drama, it arrives with distance. A commitment lands differently. A reaction feels hollow. Something you once tolerated suddenly feels heavy. That moment isn't confusing lifting. It's your original internal compass resurfacing. The one you had before you adapted. The one before you adjusted. The one before you learned to explain things away. And once you notice that shift, you can't unsee it. If any of this felt familiar, comment below. And remember, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you, it means you adapted, and now you're starting to reverse that process. Because the moment you realise this was never normal is the moment the situation starts losing its power over you. Mindspeak, see the unseen.